When two became one.
All right, guys,
Hey, hey,
we
hey.
are back
Yes, indeed.
for
Happy
another
Saturday.
episode.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
this is the podcast of When Two Became One.
Amen.
And here we talk about,
Real marriage,
mm-hmm,
real healing,
yep,
real faith.
got it.
Let's get it.
All
Almost messed
right.
that up again. Almost
You,
messed it up.
you almost,
Almost messed it up.
okay. But we got it. We know what we're talking about.
Amen.
In today's episode, we're actually going to talk about when conviction felt like love.
Yes, conviction. We ain't talking about the good, the real conviction, which we'll get to. We're talking about false convictions. But if you don't know any better, you'll think I'm doing this right. I'm doing this for love.
Yeah.
And no, wrong. You're doing it for your own selfish reasons. That's what we're talking about.
That's exactly what we're
We've been
talking
there.
about.
We've done that.
So we're gonna share like some of the reasons why we stayed, right? What
Initially.
what convicted us initially to stay together.
Yeah.
So you want to start us off?
Yes, ma'am. So I know we talked about just she and I bouncing real life, real life off each other as we prepare for these episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And we came down to four main reasons why we initially stayed, and we thought we were doing the right thing. We thought we were convicted and did it for love in these four areas, or these four reasons. Fear of failure, secrets,
Yep,
comfortability, fear of the unknown. Now, there's probably some other stuff in there as well, but these are the four major ones that we can actually sit back and think about and be like, yeah, I know exactly where I was at mentally, and that's what it was. You know what I mean? So,
right.
she has hers, I have mine, all fall into these categories. So, we're going to discuss it, and hopefully, the prayer is, Lord willing, that as we discuss these things, some folks that might be in a little turmoil or might be trying to figure out, is this for me or is this not? You can hopefully relate and be like, oh wow, well, maybe I'm wrong for thinking that way. Like, let me reevaluate, So that's our prayer. Our prayer is that it helps you, and Holy Spirit, you want to do what you do.
As always. So
Yes,
let's get in and talk about fear of failure.
That's fear of failure. So, what we're talking about here is basically, okay, this ain't working out. I want to roll, but I really can't roll because I don't want to, because I don't want folks to look at me as another statistic. Like, they thought they was all that, they thought they had it figured out, and not look at them now. So that ridicule, which I know for sure, my family, not so much, because like there are, I mean, literally there is one, oh my gosh, there's one marriage in my bloodline. One, you know what I mean? And even them, like our friend, and like they're not judgy, like, so they'd have been like, sorry, it didn't work out. They'll pray us up, they'll keep us prayed up, but it wouldn't have been no, you know what I mean? So as far as my side, as far as I'm concerned, I gotta be mindful of this microphone, so I'm always banging it, so forgive me, y'all. But as far as I was concerned, I didn't really have a fear of failure. What I did, there was a fear though, but it was a fear of being the statistic, being just like everybody else that had gone before me. You know what I mean? Like, and especially with the women in my life, the women in my family, like, I got aunts and my mom and them, like they tried, maybe because they dealt with, incompatible men, or I would say incompatible, but the wrong type of guys. It just never worked out. So if I was to go out there and chalk us up early on, it'd have been like, yeah, see, it don't work out for us and for the guys. It don't work out. So I think mostly my fear was, I don't want you guys to think that it's impossible to work. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much mine. How about you?
So mine was, I had two, and again, I talked about in previous episodes about being that people's pleaser, right? So I had a fear of, family and friends' opinions, because from the outside looking in, it's like you got everything together.
Right.
So when things fall apart or you decide to split, it's like, oh, you didn't have everything together. What was going on in that household?
Right.
So I had that fear, like you said, of being that statistic, and not saying that, it's wrong, because sometimes people are in toxic relationships, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you do need to separate, you do need to split. It's just overall just bad for your well-being and your health and your mental state.
Safety.
So I'm not saying that separation as a whole is wrong. It's just, for us, it would have been a flesh thing.
Yes.
It would have been like we weren't even trying to make it work.
Boom.
It was just more so like we said, we were just staying just to stay and not even knowing really why we were staying.
Yeah.
Another thing is to be put into like a certain category, like like you said that, oh, okay, it didn't work out. That's normal. We were counting for it to not work out, or all men act like this, all females act like that, and we didn't want to have that type of stigma put on us, I should say. Again, that's a fear. Caring about what people think. Who cares?
Because so you see the trend. It's all about me. It's all about us.
Right. At the end of the day, it's really supposed to be your relationship, your connection with God. What is He telling you to do? But if you don't have that right foundation, you don't know what He's telling you to do. You just going off of your flesh and what the world says a marriage should look like, what a relationship should look like, and then you act on that, right? So that was a huge fear of mine, and so we would just stay and work it out and not really work it out.
Right. No. Yeah. Right. We didn't. We're just going to say because we're going to stay behind that safety badge of, at least my business out in the street, or then I'm going to look at it like our marriage didn't work. We're just going to stay. Ain't nothing really get handled though. Like we didn't talk about anything.
Just staying.
Right.
Just hanging out. Like we don't want to be apart, but yet we didn't know how to be together.
Yeah, bingo. And another one too, I thought about again, I guess this actually is the falls into fear affair, which I almost forgot about, is when I was a kid. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was this guy just flashing these signs in my head or whatever, but I always saw myself married. I almost always saw myself married. The wife in the passenger seat, possibly some kids back there, and I was always driving somewhere. I'm talking like literally like in middle school as a kid. And then that stayed with me all through middle school, high school, early in the Navy. I just saw the same vision. I was driving over a bridge, the sun was coming up, or the sun was up nice and bright. And again, there was a wife and there was some kids in the back and a big old truck, and we just riding somewhere. And I'm like, so now that I actually was blessed enough to get past the threshold of being married, now I'm like, yo, if this don't work out, then that dream that I was given, it didn't come to fruition. No. I failed the dream. The dream. So yeah. And again, these aren't real. These should not be reasons to stay, but these are things that we felt convicted falsely. We felt, again, not, it actually was conviction, but our selfish ego, selfish pride, selfish convictions that caused us to stay.
So the next one was
secrets. Yeah. Now, this one, I mean, I didn't really have any. Even the times I did try to keep secrets, you found everything out. So, yep, showed up in my apartment, tore that thing up, didn't you? Sure did. It's funny now.
That was the reason
it's
to
funny
say,
now.
right?
It was not funny. Y'all saw. Well, we didn't even get to all the details of that encounter, but yeah. And then there was another encounter as well when I came home from Bahrain the first time, and she had a notebook about this thick, full of every email and text message that I sent to this young lady that I call myself dating because I'm tired of Keisha not getting it together. So I'm just going to move on and do my own thing. Mind you, she's the mother of my child at this point. And mind you, we are married at this point. And I'm like, nope, I'm done. I'm just going to do my own
a private eye.
Find
out everything.
Yeah. So as far as my side, I tried to have them. You understand? I tried to have secrets. I tried to have burner phones and third-party emails.
Nah. I pay attention to details, y'all. And anytime.
And play stupid. Like, she'd be like, oh, okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, that don't make sense. And probably turn her back like this.
Anytime something don't make sense, I'm like,
I'm so mad at myself.
Okay.
I'm so mad at myself for not being smarter.
So some of the secrets, I mean, well, I guess I did have secrets. As far as, growing up and us in our younger days, um, we talked about this before as well. He went into the military at 17, and so he was gone. So here I am, like, hey, I'm partying, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, or whatever. And I didn't want to be held accountable for any of my past mistakes or my actions. So I didn't share with him, early on, because at that time he was a person that I'm going to look at you by what you do and judge you off of that. And then that's who you become.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, secrets do have a way of causing you to stay because it's like you have something to prove. It's like, okay, yeah, I did this when I was younger. Yeah, I might have been out here just crazy, just wilding out, doing all of this crazy stuff. But that's not who I am at my core. And so I don't want you to judge me based off of that. I want you to see me for who I am. And so sometimes you stay just based off of you have something to prove. Again, definitely not something you want to do.
Nope.
You want to give the person the opportunity to fully know who you are, and then they choose to stay, not you choosing for them. So sometimes secrets can cause a person to stay because they're like trying to prove internally they are not a product of their mistakes. They're better than their mistakes. And for the most part, I pray and I hope that that is true. We all, I feel like, are bigger than our mistakes. But you have to be willing to come out on that other side and be the change.
Bingo.
So
yeah, you really helped me grow maturely. We was in church one Sunday, and you kept saying you was praying and you was praying, and we was just because Pastor Brown says of these awesome moments where you feel connected to God in that moment. You just talking to Him, regardless of who's within earshot, and you just kept saying, you said, "No more shame, no more shame, no nothing, no nothing. I'm free, I'm free, I'm free." And of course, now I'm trying to get, my connection going. But I just felt it. I just felt like it was just something strong here. I'm like, yo, like my baby, right? Like my baby, it's that forget the past. We're done. We're done. We're bigger than that. Whatever. God said, don't look back. Lot's wife. Lot's wife. Don't turn around. Keep going. Keep going.
Please don't turn around.
So yes, absolutely.
Okay, so that we talked about secrets. What about comfortability?
Comfortability. This was big for me. This was big for me. So one of the again fleshly, selfish reasons why I'm going to stay in this marriage and it's going to be all right. Not really handling anything. So in other relationships, one in particular I brought up briefly a few minutes ago. I'm in this relationship and I'm thinking to myself, this is what I'm looking for. This is the maturity I'm looking for. You know what I mean? She got it figured out. She squared away. She good to go. Transparent, tells me everything. Good, I'm good. Now I go to be myself in this relationship at the time where this is years ago, but neither here nor there. I get up to go make a drink. I get up. I don't even know what time of day it was. It was morning, afternoon, night. I don't even
Apparently too early.
Apparently it was too early. But now, for those that know me, now I'm not making no excuse whatsoever because indulgence is indulgence, and it's a very slippery slope. But my wife, she knows me since like I was a kid, since 11, 12 years old, and there's certain people that can drink, certain people that shouldn't drink, some people that don't drink. There's different categories here.
Right.
So, again, not making no excuse for myself though, but I figured I was one of those folks that when I drink, people love to be around me. I wasn't that obnoxious drunk that, oh, now I got my attitude changes and now I get violent and I get belligerent and all that kind of stuff. I am just the party guy, chill, go with the flow, and and like that. Now, I go to make this drink and I come back and the young lady is sitting there or whatever, and she's like, "Really? Are you about to drink?" I'm like, "About to? Not only about to. I'm like halfway swigging. So I'm about to. I'm like, what?
I was there.
Yeah, I'm already here. And I think it was Hennessy and Coke, and Hennessy and Pepsi, I think, something like that. And I'm
probably
boom. And she's like, "Are you serious right now?" And I'm now mind you, I got suds on my mustache. I'm like, the gulp is done. I'm like, I'm like, what's wrong? And she was so disgusted. I immediately felt super uncomfortable because again, my actual wife that knows me was never an issue for her. She's like, that shit ain't going. That's just what do you do? She looked at me like I had just committed like the all 10 sins 50 times in a row. And so I was like, oh, okay, all right. Well, so I put it down because I saw the whole mood in the room shift. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, then I can't be myself there. So okay, let me just chill with that. But I felt super like awkward. I felt like
Uncomfortable.
super uncomfortable. And another major thing was I do like my alone time from time to time. I don't like it so much more now because I'm super in love. Who knew? But once upon a time, I really loved my extended alone time thanks to those appointments, and I just found out I just loved me some me. And this young lady would not let me have that alone time. I'm like, okay, well, she's like all up in my ribs, and I thought I wanted that, right? I thought I wanted that transparency and that lovey-doveyness. And again, nothing wrong with that if that's what you truly want, but just know what it comes with it. I learned a lot about myself at this time. Like, I don't really want that. I don't. Uh-uh. So, all of those crazy experiences back then, and then now I'm in the marriage, and now we're pushing and we're trying to make it work, but we're still hitting all these rocky roads and stuff like that. My immediate fear was, well, I can't be myself with nobody else, so I might as well just go ahead and sit here again, not working it out, not fixing it, but just staying and feeling good about it too. Like, but I think that's love, right? That gotta be love because because I'm not I can't be comfortable nowhere else. It's not love. That's selfish. Yeah.
Right. So I get you because that's the kind of how I felt as well. Just knowing that I didn't have to deal with the typical issues that you deal with when a lot of women say their men is like infidelity or have the wandering eye or just the party or out and you're concerned. I didn't have to deal with that, right? Because like you just shared, he was kind of more of a homebody. I was the one that was the partier, the go out and things like that, and I could tone that down. And for the most part, if I did go out, I'm like, you want to come out with me? And he's like, either yes or no. So
Got my car broken
I
into.
get right
Yeah.
going out with me. Yes, that was during college days.
Yeah.
I convinced him to go out for homecoming. And yeah, we came back and his car had gotten broken into. This is why I stay home. And
In
he's like, I'm
hindsight, though, I
sorry.
would not have traded that night in for nothing. But in my selfish way, everything was her fault at that point. Like
Right,
everything after that, and that night was her fault.
right.
Horrible human being, but yeah.
So I stayed because of, those reasons, which are, really good reasons. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you ladies would agree. If you don't have to deal with that, you'll deal with other stuff if you don't have to deal with that, right? And then there are some things that people don't want to deal with. Like there's things that we talked about with, being disconnected and like you said, wanting to just have your quiet time and go into those spaces where I just need to be by myself. Sometimes people can't deal with that. That was something that didn't really bother me unless it was towards me. But for the most part, if you want to just have your alone time, I get it. Because sometimes I want to have my alone time.
Yep.
And so those were some of the reasons that I would stay. Another reason was kids, right? You feel comfortable with a person, you have kids by them, so you're like, okay, I have kids by this person. What does that look like?
Yeah.
If we're not together. And then history, right? This person knows my family, I know their family.
Yeah.
We've known each other since we were kids.
Right.
Those are some of the things that you get comfortable with and you get complacent in that setting, but you're not growing, you're not communicating, you're not talking. You're just existing
Mm-hmm.
in the relationship because you're fearful of what it would look like outside of that relationship. So
Mm-hmm.
again, that fear of losing your comfort,
Yeah, absolutely.
which again is not something that you want to just stay because you're comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to get uncomfortable for things to grow. And I
Amen.
feel like that's what happened with us. the comfort wore off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And we
yeah,
had to learn to be uncomfortable with hard conversations
yeah.
and things that both of us liked and apprecited and respected, and we had to learn to respect one another
Hmm.
for liking those things and giving each other that space to grow and
Yeah,
see each other.
yeah, yep. That grace, learning forgiveness, all of that falls in that same vein. Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, and then so comfortability, and then the fear of the unknown was the last one.
Ooh,
Fear of
yeah.
the unknown. Now that's what that goes on line with what you a part of
Yep.
comfortability. But I know my fear of the unknown was my daughter. Like I said
Yep.
before, she was the mother of my child at this time or whatever, and the relationship is not going the way I feel it should go. I got to worry about too many variables over here. She got to worry about what she got to worry about as far
Mhm.
as my attitude and things like that. So my thing became, again, not us not
Mhm.
working it out, is okay, the common factor is our daughter.
Right.
So now, with a son, I don't know if my mindset would have been the same. It probably would have been even more so because of pride. Now I wanted to go to be a man and be my kind of man, not
Right.
whoever she's going to be around.
Right.
So, but with a daughter, a little girl, right? So I'm supposed to always be the hero. I'm supposed to always be around.
Mhm.
Anything go down, I fix the flat tire.
Mhm.
I stop the burglar. But if she's not going to be staying with me, and then Keisha moves on with somebody else, and then the burglar comes, and okay, now he's the hero. Like I'm like, no, that can't be the case. Not
Like
my
what's
daughter.
happening?
Yeah, right. That can't be the case. So my thing was the fear of the unknown was okay. How is she going to be raised? Who's she going to be
Yeah.
exposed to? Now, mind you, again, not saying that I should or want to control the environment that Keisha's going to be living in if we don't make
Mhm.
it. I'm just being transparent to let y'all know this is really how I was thinking, and
Right.
probably how a bunch of other men think as well. Like, now I can't say you can't date this guy, you can't go on and marry this guy,
Mhm.
but my concern really is ultimately my daughter, what she's going to think, how she's going
Mhm.
to juggle. Okay, stepdad and real dad, how does that work? And that was a major thing that kept playing over and over in my mind. So, which helped me hard. Like it's the wrong thing to do again, but it just made me swallow everything else. Okay, it's a bunch of stuff that ain't been worked out, but I don't care. I'm just gonna stay right here
Mhm.
because my daughter.
Mhm.
Nothing again. Once again, nothing really being handled or properly discussed
Right.
or worked out, should I say?
Yeah,
Yes.
and mine was similar to when it came to us having kids.
Hmm.
And again, what does that, I talked about that earlier, what does that look like,
Hmm.
right? The fear of co-parenting. We all hear these stories, and sometimes we see stories where co-parenting work out really, really awesome
Yep.
because you have awesome people that make it about the children and
Yeah.
not about themselves. And then sometimes you have the opposite
Yeah.
where it's like, no, I want to make this person hurt, or I don't like the fact that you're dating this person and what they stand for, so I don't want my child around
Around it. Yep.
that. So having kids and just the possibility of thinking about co-parenting was a fear for me, and then also to not knowing what's on the other side of the door. So I've never been like a risk taker when it came to things like that, like with my life and stuff like that. Like now I might invest in some stocks. That's a different type of different type of risk, right? And I'm gonna ask a bunch of questions
Yeah.
before I invest.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like my livelihood, I'm like, okay, so I know this person and their flaws and their possible issues. What am I going to get if I step outside of that? Like,
Yeah. Long
am
term.
I right?
Yeah.
Am I going to have to deal with some like things that's on a whole nother level that I
Prepared
never
for.
even imagined having to deal with? And so those were some of the things that caused me to stay. However, do I think that that particular fear helped us? Absolutely, because I never pushed the button to be like,
Right.
buy, and he never pushed the button to be like, okay,
Deuces.
I'm willing to take that risk,
Right.
right? It wasn't that bad. However, those are fears sometimes people stay when it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Those are unhealthy fears to have because we're supposed to walk by faith, not by sight.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have to trust God is going to guide our steps. But when we don't have a relationship and we don't know who God is, then we have fear. Then we don't know that we want to walk through that door. We don't know what's on the other side of the door, and we're not even willing to take that chance.
Yeah.
I'm glad we did not walk through the door.
Amen.
And we stayed and that was a fear too, staying. Like, am I going to be happy? Like,
Right. Are we ever going to get
past a certain threshold?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
are we ever
going to learn how to talk? Are we ever
That's
going to
right.
learn how to have the conversations? Like,
compromise.
Yeah,
That was kind of a fear. That was an internal fear as well.
Yeah.
But again, that's when faith did kick in.
Boom.
That's when we established our relationship, and we were like, oh, okay. So now we look at it like, thank God.
Yes.
We did not walk
every day
out the door.
Yeah.
Because then we would not have been able to be on this side and understand one another and appreciate one another and love one another for where they are and who they are. So sometimes fear, a healthy kind of fear, works when it's rooted in God. When it's not,
I like that.
Then that's
Abraham.
a different
that's Abraham.
That's a different story.
That's
like
good.
You're not going to be successful in life because you have, again, the wrong type of fear backing you.
Big time. Ooh, I like that. That's good.
So these were like some of our unhealthy convictions and what happened early on in our relationship and what made us stay. Now we have healthy convictions.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we have explained before, we're able to have disagreements with love. Like, he's an individual person. I'm an individual person. We're not going to always see eye to eye on every single topic. But I can appreciate and I can respect his viewpoint, and he can do the same for me. So now it's not he don't ever get me, I'm feeling stagnant. I can't grow in this relationship. I'm not heard. I'm not seen. It's the opposite. It's like, okay, he heard my cry and he decided to answer. He said, okay, I might not have the answers for what you're going on. Let's pray about it and let's go from there. Or, I don't think we should invest in that. Let me think. Let me do some research on it. I'm gonna sit with it for a second, and then I'm gonna come back and ask more questions. I'm not gonna just automatically shut you down because I don't agree and I don't believe.
Jesus.
Like that's a whole different situation when you have someone that's not supportive. And so now we have, again, healthy convictions because we're able to support one another because we know what that looks like and we know where we're trying to go and we know who's guiding our footsteps.
Absolutely. I just want to apologize right now because I probably made 1,000 weird faces throughout this thing. And it's rightfully so, because when you look and when you start talking about your old self and what God has delivered you from, and you see how disgusting it is, it's bad and it's good at the same time, because I can't go back. There's no way I can go back to that. Just hearing who I was, how deceptive, angry, incompatible I purposely made myself. Like when you really sit back and you think back and you think it's enough to shout. It's enough that when I get up tomorrow morning and go to the faith, 5900 Ricker Road, Jacksonville, Florida, 32244. I'm going to yell. I'm going to say "Let's go" a bunch of times. I'm going to say "Glory" a bunch of times, "Hallelujah" a bunch of times, because I get to look to my left and I see this beautiful flesh right here, and you got to fade the black in a minute. But yeah, this beautiful blessing in the form of Keisha LeRae Hodges, as I forgot. I put the ring on it. I put the ring on it. Yeah, amen. This beautiful specimen of Keisha LeRae Hodges is sitting right here because, again, we could have definitely chalked it a long time ago. And a quick plug too. I want to give a special shout out to one Miss Mother in Love, Angela Lewis. I'm gonna say this why. I'm gonna say why. Keisha made up. She said something in this podcast. She said there's some things I had to worry about: wandering eye, fidelity, and things like that. Whatever. Even though I tried, but it didn't work out. But anyway,
And a lot of times I push you to do that. Just like she just
That's
out
honest.
here.
That's honest. I appreciate that. Yeah, but wrong is wrong, right? Wrong is wrong. So just because two wrongs to make it right. She doing some stuff, and that doesn't mean I just gotta go. So anyway, she was at a fashion show. Now today she got a chance to relive her fashion show days. She ran the run.
This is why we're so trash.
Yeah, she did the runway, and I think we might use it as a commercial this week. You might see it. But anyway, she was at a fashion show and she was killing it, doing her runway thing. You know what I mean? Flawless, doing her thing. And at a fashion show, there's a ton of women all around, and they might be half dressed because they're in between wardrobe changes, or they might just be modeling different clothes, or they might be, there's a lot of skin around. Right. And I'm sitting at a table, and her mom is there, grandmom is there, some friends in the family, some church folks, some other relatives. They're all just talking. Nobody's in my mind. Nobody's paying me any mind, whatever. So I'm just sitting there, and as people walk towards me, I don't know these people. I only know the Lewis family and my girlfriend slash future wife on the stage. That's all I know. And the whole night went off out of hitch. Done deal. I think it's the next day. We're eating breakfast or something like that. And mom is downstairs in her kitchen. And she was like, I'm going to say one thing. She was like, I don't care how many women walked in there, walked past, walked up close, tried to get his attention. He never looked up at nobody. Now, mind you, I might have had a mouthful of pancake at the time. I'm like, you talking about me? I said, look up. I said, say what, mom? I had to spit. What did you say? She was like, I'm talking about you, Dad. I'm talking about you. Now, Keisha laughed it off because she knows me. But I'm thinking nobody's watching me. Clearly, mom is watching me incognito though, because I saw her having conversations with her sorors and people like that. So I didn't think. But the women that came by, walked by, brushed by, all that stuff, whatever. I purposely do things. I will purposely look the other way. Now, this is not bragging on myself. I'm just saying, I don't want no confusion. I'm sitting around here with my wife is backstage doing some stuff. Her family is right here. I don't want nobody even thinking that I'm thinking on that type. So I will purposely ignore you, look the other way, or just do my own thing. And apparently, the reason why I'm giving her some love, I'm giving you some love, mom, is because she might not admit it. That's probably one of the reasons why she stayed. Like, not only that I know him, but now, like, yeah, y'all see what type of ticket you're on too. So yeah, I'm gonna stay right here. I ain't going nowhere. I might tick him off. He might tick me off, but I'm gonna stay right here.
Right.
So yeah, no, yeah. Thanks, mom. Thanks for helping her stay, even though she was in a horrible situation initially. But
my mom, she pays attention to detail.
She does.
You can thank her for that too.
Yes, that's why I couldn't cheat. That's why. That's that. Dad, you right, mom. I'm gonna call you later on because you messed my life up.
That's exactly why.
No, you saved my life. That's what you did.
She was no joke. I had to make sure I was on all the details. Okay, man. I had to get everything right. Okay,
y'all, I'm not joking. It was thicker than this Bible when I came back from where was I stationed overseas? I came back and she had evidence this thick. So I'm like, okay, so what was you doing over there? Nah, I was just mad at you, so I didn't do nothing. Oh, you didn't do nothing? Boom, big old blue binder. I will never forget it. And she slammed it on that desk so hard. And I opened that bad boy up and I saw my emails, timestamps, sticky notes. I said, yes. Yeah, well.
We had a discussion. God, okay. He learned very quickly who he was married to. But we definitely hope this podcast today has really helped you, touched you, and just shared light on, some of the reasons why we stayed and some of the reasons why I think a lot of people stay.
Yes.
Again, that fear of unknown, you being comfortable, just thinking about what other people may think.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what other people will think, because at the end of the day, they're not the ones that are living your life.
Yes, ma'am.
They're not the ones in that relationship.
Yep.
You only need to worry about one person. That's the man upstairs.
That's it.
Just have a conversation, really build that relationship. Ask for him to guide your steps, and he will answer. He will definitely reveal the answer to you.
Yeah.
So again, you want to make sure that you have healthy convictions on why you're staying, not unhealthy convictions. So again, guys, if you like this podcast, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend who knows a friend. That's right. Hey, that's right. Yeah. And until next time, guys.
See you later. God first.
Absolutely.